baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's gonna be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ojulari wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back. I love.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, as we always are. Remember, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet, of course, a couple of locations, LaPlace, Louisiana, for brand new cars, and over here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. Jam-packed first hour and 15 minutes. I got to get out of here about 8:15. Y'all going to keep it rolling? In the surf all the way to 9
we didn't
a.m.?
really
I don't know.
decide. Did we?
Right.
We'll see
It
how
feels like we all have a
They
lot.
might-
It feels
they
like we all have a
might-
lot
They
going
might take it
on.
all to 9 a.m. I'm heading over to Zachary. We got a really cool project going on over there, presented by Bank of Zachary. Our friends over at Bank of Zachary, Mark Marino, have put together a great project, which we are bringing to life here over the next couple of weeks between this Zachary and Woodlawn high school football showdown that is going to go down this Thursday night. We have had all access to both programs over the last month, and really can't wait to tell that story and show it to you. We'll do that with our partners over at WAFB. I'll give you the programming schedule the more that we know, but it looks like it's going to air on October 20th, which is going to be a Thursday night. Brought to you by Bank of Zachary and Lane Memorial Hospital over there in Zachary. And we're going to finish that up this morning, which should be really cool.
That's episode 1. First drop, are you saying?
That's actually going to be the finale that goes on WAFB. We'll have some
okay.
digital launches before that
Yeah.
for a couple of episodes, but it'll be really in-depth look at the game. Eli Holstein, Ricky Collins, the cast of characters that are going into this game on Thursday night. We got a cast of characters here this morning, starting with our guy Kyle Caskey, who is the former
cast of characters.
NFL coach and LSU coach, who's been breaking down film for us. He's got an extended cut coming your way today, 1 o'clock today on the YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to Caskey's Clicker on YouTube as well. But we'll have the extended cut today at 1 o'clock where we'll dive in to LSU last weekend. We'll also look at Tennessee. We'll look at the New Orleans Saints. But this morning, we're going to jump into a couple of things, including Tennessee's offense. We're also going to talk to the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, who's going to be in studio with us, BJ Ojulari, which I want to get Coach's thoughts on BJ. Time crunch this morning, 7:30. Carpool.
7:30. I got
my
carpool.
bad. All right.
Are you the carpool king?
But real quick, I want to play this soundbite from Brian Kelly's press conference yesterday, which I thought it was a very informative press conference, a very honest press conference. Katie and I were in the room with the rest of the media, and he talked a little bit about what we were discussing here yesterday with his quarterback play. Look, by no means are we advocating interceptions. By no means are we saying to turn the ball over. But what we are saying is give the wide receivers a chance and push the ball down the field. If it means that there's an interception in there, then you live with it, right? I mean, up to this point, a month into the season, no interceptions. That's a beautiful number, but it also tells you that guys like Kayshawn, Besh, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, they're not as involved because they don't have that many opportunity. We ready over there, Lloyd? Ready over there. All right, this is Brian Kelly yesterday speaking to that about his offense.
You gotta get the audio. Add it to like must be.
There's a difference between on the edge aggressively.
We not have it? All right, Brian Kelly was yesterday speaking about how he was talking about how you could throw interceptions and live with it, right? I mean, and by taking chances and pushing the ball down the field. Coach, when you watch the offense, that's something that you agree with, right?
I agree. I think you got too many good players that are they're not pushing the ball down the field too. And again, it kind of comes down to the quarterback. And one of the things that quarterbacks in general have to do, if you want to be a big time quarterback, you have to take chances at times. And a lot of times the trust level that the quarterback has to actually put the ball where he wants to. Sometimes you just got to throw that out of your mind, and if he doesn't feel it, hey, go ahead and try it. Like that's what Brian Kelly's saying is, let's get a big play every once in a while. If we get an interception, hey, our defense is playing well. Let's let the defense get back on the field. They'll get the ball back, and we'll try it again.
All right, let's jump into some video here before Coach Caskey's got to cut out of here for carpool. We got a couple of views here. We got some things that we're going to look at. We got LSU's offense. We also want to look at New Orleans Saints, and we're going to look at Hendon Hooker. We'll get our first look at Hendon Hooker, the Tennessee quarterback. Coach, where we start?
All right, we're going to start with the offense of LSU. And today, one of the main things on the LSU offense that I want to get into is the bad throws. And it's but that's not what this one's about this morning. But that this afternoon, in the penalties and the things that are holding this team back. I mean, you have a illegal shift penalty that takes away a first down conversion when they ended up punting after the next play. So there's things that they're doing that are killing themselves early, and once they get that cleaned up, one of the things I worked with John Emery. I had to last year before I went to Jacksonville, and one of the things that as a running back, and I just want to point this out because people are like, what's all this jumping crap people are doing these days? All right, so just if you look at the play here, he jumps from about the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Okay.
2.5, yep.
Now, if you're driving a car and the road's dry, you want your wheels on the ground, right? Well, if you're driving a car and the road's wet and you hydroplane, your wheels aren't on the ground anymore, right? Do you have any power? Do you have any control? No, you don't. So the thing I always wanted to tell these running backs is, number one, keep your feet on the ground unless you absolutely have to. Because look, just run through that. That's all you got to do.
Wow.
All you got to do is run through that. So, when these running backs are trying to jump, first off, I'm not sure exactly how tall 86 is and 87, but I'm assuming that they're both at least 6'4", 6'5", right? You're talking about you're going to jump over those guys that are standing straight up. So, you jump over people that are root hogging and going low. This is not a jumping situation. I know John's going to get better at that, but that's a shot right there. I mean, I believe they scored the next play, but
Why did he do that, though? Was that just an impulse? Because I noticed that, too.
he did it the play before, I believe, as well, because the play before was the long pass that he had, and he also jumped towards the end of that, too.
And he jumped too early.
He jumped too early.
Could have scored.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the whole hurdle thing. I don't get it. I see it sometimes when a safety's trying to cut you down or something in the open field, but not when just run the guy over. There was a play I got it was with the Minnesota. It's actually I believe it's Justin Jefferson, where he just tries to truck through.
Yeah.
He ran out of bounds at like the 3, but he ducked his shoulder and tried to run through. That's how you're supposed to do it.
And you're so vulnerable in the air. Like, I mean, you get your clock cleaned.
Look at the position he is in right when he jumps.
Yeah.
You have zero power right there. You have nothing.
The ball's in front of you. I mean,
Well, that's the other thing. I've seen too many times that ball get knocked out.
Just punched.
Especially some of these guys are trying to. At least he's holding on
Right,
to it.
yeah.
Some of these guys are trying to reach it out.
Well, you saw it with Anthony Richardson in Florida, in the Florida
Yeah.
game, where he did the same thing, where he took off from the 3 and he fumbles, and it ends up being a big momentum play that ends up costing Florida a game.
KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson.
Oh, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's who it was.
But that's it. That's the only reason A&M won that game.
Absolutely.
Because the kid jumped.
Oh, no doubt
I
about
mean,
it.
bottom line, that's the only reason that won. So with the offense, again, we're going to get into some of the stuff that they could do better in the passing game. Defensively, I think Brian Kelly hit it yesterday. He talked about communication issues on defense and how there were some blown assignments and different things. And going back to the offense for a second, I know he mentioned this yesterday too, but I think I sent you a text, Jordy, with the video of it when Emory fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Literally, their guards pulled and hit and ran right into each other. Like it looked like two trains just colliding. I mean, it was just such a screwed up play. I think Kelly called it a clown show or something.
Yeah, he did. He said one side of the line was going right, the other side was going left.
Well, it was the left side of the line going right and the right side of the line going left, which is not good because those two paths kind of run into each other, and that's what happens. So, but going into the defense, one of the big things is we were talking about miscommunication, but I heard you talking yesterday, and this is a hell of a play here, obviously just by Ojulari to get around this guy. I mean. Now we talked about a couple things about this quarterback, and one of the things was do you put a spy guy on him? And I know they had Harold Perkins spying him, and I have that play later on when he just takes off running. But if you look right here, I mean you get around him and then you chase him down and then you watch how he goes after the ball right here. That's what makes good players great is when you can get a sack, but then you find a way to turn it over. And then, we were talking about here, like how some people just fall on this ball.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring something up. This is the way that I know, I can't remember who taught it this way, but it's stuck with me for years. Are you in the city or are you in the country? All right. Right now, he's in the country. There's really nobody around. Yeah, he's there, but you're a wide open country. If you got wide open country, go pick it up and run. Scoop and score. Now, if you had a bunch of dudes all around you right here, and you weren't sure if you're going to get that ball or not, you're in the city because you're in the middle of New York City. You're in Times Square. You jump on that ball. But right now, you're in the country. Take it and go. And he actually does. He looks so natural when he got this ball. I mean, the move. I know that's 77, but I mean, he broke 77's ankles. He had no chance.
I mean, you knew it right when he scooped.
And it's such a. This is such a momentum, game-changing play.
Oh, look at the closing speed.
I mean,
It's so good.
And there's no wasted movement right here, and so these are drills they work on. I've seen teams work on these drills: the scoop and score drill, the turnover drills, and
I mean, getting around that tackle is the hoop drill,
It
right?
is.
I mean, that's just the hoop drill, keeping your leverage and film rate down for 77.
So just those big plays won that game for LSU. I'm talking about as a team.
Sure.
When you pass for 85 yards and you're expecting your run game to bring you back from being down 17-0 early. It's one of those things where you needed big plays, and the defense I think really provided those plays. Again, we'll get into more of that. Moving on to the Saints for a minute because I want to end up on Tennessee. With the Saints, Andy Dalton played, and again, y'all know I'm a huge fan of Andy Dalton's just because I was with him for 8 years in Cincinnati, and we drafted him, so I've been around him a lot. I know what he can do. I get that he's limited at his age now, but we talked about with Jameis that he was getting all these 8 up fronts right here, and this isn't necessarily an 8 up front because the 8th guy's here, but you've got to look where this is an exotic blitz, and that's what Minnesota does. They show this and they blitz it, and then Carolina the week before just torched Jameis on all this. So if you watch, Andy actually changes the play here. All right, the problem with this play, he actually does a good thing because watch, the guy's going to run out from here to try to cover this guy. All right, this guy right here totally whiffs on his block. he just whiffs bad. But Andy changes the play at the line. He's doing this. They're blocking. If this guy right here gets anything on his block, I mean, it's at least a good play.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, point being is Andy, that the fact that Andy checked the play, saw it, learned something. He watched Caskey's clicker last week. I mean,
Give you a shout.
I should have just texted to him, you know, but I'm trying to be unbiased around here.
Right. Let the coaches do their job.
Yeah. So, but you can see he changed it, and see where 54 is running. 54 is having to run all the way from in here. That's the problem with these double A blitzes when you got both linebackers in the A gap, is getting that guy out to number 3 in a 3-by-1 set. You know, and what I mean by that is that's number 3 you count from the outside. So he's got to push. So no matter who this guy's, now he runs to the flat. I mean, he's really got to go.
Wow.
So, but if this guy gets a block right here,
So he's playing him man up.
it's not man, but it's just he
That's his
has
responsibility?
to relate to number 3 in this case right now, because
Gotcha.
they're actually bluffing out into a
So if he goes wheel right there, does he have to take him up the sideline?
no, he shouldn't have to, because this guy's playing back here. But actually, you know what? They're actually rolling to 2, so he's rolling back to the half here.
Oh,
so.
yeah, I see him.
But no, he would not have to take him on the wheel. But at the same time, yes, he's got to relate to him if he runs any kind of inside route.
Wow. So
That's
as an
what-
offensive guy, is that what you're trying to create? Like
Yeah.
if that was Kamara, you
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't want that right there and say,
Yeah,
press him, right? Like,
you want him up in those. If you get him up in the A gaps, that's why we always tell them, hey, find a check that goes to number 3, because that guy from the A gap's got to run all the way out there in a 3-by-1 set. In a 2-by-2 set, it's a little easier because usually he's popping out to go like to the tight end who's already attached, who's not as far. But
and that's an outside backer?
no, that
linebacker?
was Kendricks. He's an inside backer.
Okay.
He's a true inside backer. And then I think the thing about the Saints offense, real quick before I go on, I thought Dalton calmed them down a little bit. You know, didn't bring any like huge plays, but he calmed them down. And then I thought the run game was better. Now they just lost Latavius Murray to the Broncos.
Wow.
How about that?
That's the business of NFL right there.
Oh,
huh?
that's straight up business. And
I
I've had that
mean,
happen to me before as a
So
coach.
Latavius Murray is active on Sunday, scores a touchdown for the Saints as a member of the practice squad?
So the new rules with the COVID rules from a couple years ago is you now can elevate a certain amount of guys from the practice squad, and like each practice squad guy can be elevated, I believe, twice before that they have to actually be put on the 53. So like if you're a practice squad guy and this week and next week you get brought up, they can't bring you back up until they actually sign you to the 53. All right. But so those were new rules put in like 2020 because of COVID, because that way, you know, people were getting popped with COVID on Fridays because we were getting tested every day. I mean, heck, we had players get popped on Sunday morning. I mean, it was crazy. So,
Been with the team all week.
yeah, no big deal.
COVID.
Yeah, got
Center
it
of the
now.
game plan.
Yeah.
So, but that's
Kamara.
Out.
So after the game, he reverted back to the practice squad because he never technically left the practice squad.
Wow.
So the rule is, though, if he signs with Denver, he has to sign to the 53, and Denver has to keep him on the 53 for at least 3 weeks.
Good for him.
So when you sign somebody off a practice squad like that, you're legit, like you're putting an effort into that player. So
Well, and once he makes the 53, he gets salary, right? Rest of the year?
yeah, and he gets, I believe, if you get elevated, you get a real salary for that game. So like this last game, even though he's
Oh,
practice
wow.
squad,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
he gets a bump. I'm not sure. It's probably the minimum,
Sure.
whatever the minimum is, divided by 17. But still, I mean,
Yeah, right.
I'd
Nice chunk.
Take that paycheck. But I tell these practice squad players all the time, I'm like, y'all are complaining about making $100,000. Y'all get 5 months off a year. You don't play in the games, and all you do is practice and work out. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I get it that
Put it-
sometimes y'all get hit, but
You
I'm
put it like that, that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
that's what I was saying.
I'm like, y'all are complain. Y'all don't need to
You got
complain
any
about
practice
that. now.
squad jobs out there?
Yeah.
I'm sure the median age of a practice squad player is probably like 22.
It's
right? I mean,
pretty
probably
young. Now it's changed a little bit recently because of the change in the rules. Because now you can have, I believe, 2 vested veterans on your practice squad. That's
Like
how
Latavius
that's how,
Murray.
yeah, that's how that guy. Oh, somebody just got signed. I think the Cowboys, before they brought him up, put Jason Peters on the practice squad.
Wow.
Yeah, Jason Peters is my age, you know. I mean, Jason Peters probably 38.
I mean, he played left tackle for the Eagles for 15 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can do that now. But, yeah, I'd say a normal practice squad player is probably 2-3 years out at the most. But, all right, so going on to the Saints defense. All right, a few things on the Saints defense. Number one, busted coverages, and most of them were man. All right, and then on the jet sweep, we'll show later that Jefferson scored on, they were trying to rotate the safeties that were covering him when he went in motion, and they never did it. That's why when he scored, like, he just walked in and half the field was just empty because literally nobody went and covered him. And then I just thought, Jefferson kind of had his way with Lattimore a little bit.
Is Jefferson the best wide receiver in the league?
Right now, if he's not, he's
number 2.
He's up there. Yeah. I mean, he's a guy I think you start a team with if you're trying to.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't turn him down by any means. But looking here at this play, we talked about it. I'm going to pause this when it gets to right here. All right. So you got a flat guy. You got this guy running across over here. Now this isn't a true sail route, but it's a sail concept kind of. But what they were doing is they were bringing a guy across over here. So it was like double crossers. So you'll see this right here coming from the other side. Now this is man coverage. All right. So we'll stop it. There's Jefferson at the bottom. All right. So as he's coming across here, he's got his man running with him. He's got his man running with him. This guy right here, number 20, who's the catalyst of the whole blow up here,
Warner,
is actually he's on the back. He's just a hole player. So he's just dropping back and helping. Well, the problem is he helped out the Vikings right here because he just totally knocked out 29 right here, and that's why he comes so wide open. All right, and I believe this is actually the play I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, he just runs him.
But that's what Emory should have done. Is because if you remember Emory's pass he caught over here, he's running down, he gets to about the same spot and he tries to jump over the guy. So right here you could see, I mean, I believe he barely stepped out right there, but that's the difference between a guy understanding your cleats in the ground makes you stronger, and but again, this kind of stuff was happening all day where, they were having. This isn't a miscommunication as much as just, a lack of awareness just on his drop. He's not even thinking about this guy coming from over here.
He's just running to a spot.
Yeah. He's running to try to undercut this. You see what I'm saying? He's running to undercut this guy, not thinking that this guy's gonna, run into him. So, but that's how that stuff comes so wide open right there. So that's another. It's another look at how there'll be about 3 or 4 more of those with
best player in the field just running by himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Is
them.
that a sail route or not? Or it was
It was a version of a sail route, but then they brought that other crosser over.
Okay.
So,
So
they
that
didn't
wasn't-
have the 3. A sail route has 3 levels. Has a high, a medium, and a low like level. What they were doing, instead of running the guy deep, they crossed him like that. So they got the cross route coming on for the sail concept, but then they said, screw that, we're taking the other guy back across.
Wide open.
And it was wide open. Now the Saints were running the same play, which is kind of funny. They ran the exact same play, and I think, but the Saints kept hitting the sail part of it. They weren't hitting the big crosser route like they did. So, all right, looking at Tennessee, all right, and I'm talking about the Volunteers here now. So this guy right here, all right, Hendon Hooker, big guy, all right. He plays the game like a quarterback, all right, but he can run. It's not the opposite as of last week with Auburn, where you had a runner who was.
He wants to throw it.
He wants to throw it, and
If you make him run, he can.
Yes, and he can do it very well. But the problem with this guy's got a strong arm. Like this guy's got an accurate, crisp, fast release.
He's a first-round pick, right?
The way he's playing right now, yeah, and I think they're doing him favors right now. Well, Florida did him a lot of favors last week. Florida was busting coverage. You talk about the Saints right there. Florida just wasn't covering people, like straight up, just not even like running with them. But the thing you got to give this guy credit for is he took advantage of it, as opposed to some teams that drop coverages and then you don't take advantage of it. But now his run ability. Now we talked so much about last week with not rushing past the quarterback, containing the quarterback and squeezing the pocket. Well, here's the problem right here. Here's what Florida was doing. Florida rushed past the quarterback. Well, when you rush past the quarterback, that big lane opens up inside. You know, you can lose contain. That guy goes inside, he goes around, but it's just as bad if he rushes up and allows that running lane right there. And when he sees it, I mean, yeah, that's
It's stealing.
it's stealing.
That's
Now,
stealing.
and that's him being smart and getting down too. You know, there's a lot of quarterbacks that you see out there, that the runner style quarterbacks that are going to try to do something and make guys miss. He understands. Listen, we're going to get the yardage. I'm going to get my yards. But if you watch again, you can't rush past the quarterback when he can run, because right now there's a huge void right there, and everybody's, you know, they actually have good coverage on this play. You know, but okay, fine. What happens when it's man coverage? And
Yeah.
what happens when it's man coverage and
Everybody's bailing out.
you lose contain, or you rush past the quarterback? You don't have the second. There's nobody on this second level. There is no spy player for this. You know, and this guy's one of those guys that you almost want to put guys in coverage instead of spying. Like last week, you could spy the guy because you knew he wasn't. You know, everybody says he's threw for so many yards. Well, that's because they dared him to win with his arm, and he did a good job.
And all the plays he made out of the pocket. This guy right
Yeah.
here, he'll torch you in the pocket.
What kind of drives me crazy is I was listening to a couple podcasts. I'm not going to call them out, but they were talking about
Ooh, let's call him out.
running backs. Running back. You're throwing a 50-yard pass to a running back. They're wide open. It was a scramble drill.
Right.
It
Yeah.
wasn't like they designed a play for the running back. The running back just happened to be running
Yeah.
a check down.
They were
out
freelancing
there,
out
and
there.
he just started scrambling. He found an open spot, and all of a
doubt.
sudden you got to the running back. Yes, now he's a running back again, and
Right.
that's why he can get those yardage. But anyway,
What happens in this play? So, okay, he goes down.
no, go ahead. Oh yeah, But this is what I'm saying. He's smart enough to know as a quarterback.
Right.
Take what they give me.
Listen,
Absolutely.
there's a
I
time.
mean, that's
Yeah.
that's a free 20 yards right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
know.
take
It's
it when you can
nice.
get it.
I worked with a coach, and he was always like, "You just got to know when to say uncle."
Yep,
You
absolutely.
know, you just got to know when to say it. You just
Yeah.
go down. You know, because it's just like you're done. I'm done. You know, and all right. So going to this look now, talking about his passing ability. All right, he's gonna throw. It's gonna be this concept one way or the other, but it's a bench route. So y'all remember the bench route?
Yep.
Why is it called a bench route?
Because it goes towards the bench.
Because they're running towards the bench.
Yeah,
Good.
we're coaching.
So I just want you to see how calm he is back here. And again, but he just calmly throws this. Watch this from the end zone, and just how just calm and quick his release is. And he's not even trying to throw the ball. And this ball has more velocity on it than anything you saw from Auburn last week.
Yeah, for sure. Clean pocket.
Boom. That's just and that is another point too. Those five guys up front are playing really well for him, you know, and Pittsburgh's not a bad team. They're not SEC by any means, but watch just that, just such a, I mean, and it's not like he doesn't loft it. It's perfect spiral. And that's just one look at how that kid is. He's a multi-threat guy, but he's a quarterback. And for the Tigers this week, you've got to rush him the exact same way you rushed Robbie Ashford. And the problem is now you probably want to keep guys in coverage because they are a vertical passing team. They're like West Coast. When you hear of West Coast teams and the vertical passing threats, if you watch their offense looks so familiar to me because it looks like an NFL style passing offense. Well, not a pro style two back thing. They look like they're throwing NFL style routes like you just saw with Minnesota. And
Him and Will Levis at Kentucky both run pro style systems. I mean, if you're an NFL scout, those two are probably very easy to scout because
very easy.
I mean they're doing it right here.
That bench route combination right there, the quick out and the bench. I mean, that's a
Real
staple.
quick, I know you got to go.
Yeah.
BJ Ojulari's coming in here. Second time in 3 weeks he's been named SEC Defensive Player Lineman of the Week. How good's he playing right now?
I think he's playing at the top of his game. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do for himself. Number one, he's showing the teams out there that are going to be looking at him for next year that he's real. I mean, I think we kind of all knew that here, but he's putting it on film, and it's consistent, and it's not just. I've got the one for later on, but I think you've talked about it. He peeled out on a running back down the sideline.
He got his hand on that
Yeah, I
ball.
mean, he got his hand on the ball.
I don't know how much he weighs. What does he got to be, about 260?
Pick him up when he comes in here.
You know, y'all probably take a picture of y'all standing on these things next to him. But, you know, but he's a big dude, and for him to be able to turn and wheel out on that guy, I mean, that was impressive. And that's I know the guy caught the ball, but point being,
Draftable tape.
guys are going to look at that in the NFL
Absolutely.
and go, okay, this guy's going to be a defensive end most likely for us, a rush in. Oh my God, but he can run like that?
245.
245? That's moving though.
I mean, that's LeBron.
That's moving. and the funny thing was he didn't turn to wheel with the guy until he was past him. Like
Right.
he caught up to him.
Right.
It wasn't that it was it wasn't like he just ran with him. And
No
all of a sudden-
interference. I
No.
mean, like stayed away. You know, like perfect
he was
body
perfectly
control.
in phase. I mean, it was
It was
good. No,
impressive.
I think one of the things to ask him is what's the difference between some of the ways he's rushing this year as opposed to last year with, like we saw that circle rush where he went around the tackle, but then there's also been some times when we've seen him inside the tackle box, things like that, because that's a little different, it seems like to me. And being able to play all those different spots on the field, it's pretty cool to see.
House brought up Josh Allen a lot in the offseason when talking about how he was going to use BJ.
Yeah.
You know, he coached Josh Allen
Yep.
at Kentucky.
Well, I was with Josh Allen in Jacksonville.
That's right.
And Josh Allen's special too now.
Right.
That's
Sure.
If you're getting compared to Josh Allen, the rusher, not the quarterback.
Ability-wise, good
Yeah.
comp, though? Is that a good comp?
I think that's a good comp. I think both of those guys, I think Perkins and Ojulari, I think I'm going to use a big name here, but they're Von Millerish.
Mm-hmm.
They're long, fast, quick guys,
Yeah.
and they can do a lot more than just rush a quarterback. So,
all right, I can feel Miss Caskey
Yes.
breathing down our neck here. Get to carpool. We will see you this afternoon, 1 o'clock, for the extended cut of Caskey's Clicker. We are brought to you by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Get in touch with them. You cannot call. You cannot find them online, or you cannot find their social media. You got to call them 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. Number one in the number two business. They got experienced carpenters on staff that can help you out with your next industrial or residential remodel. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Mention the show and save yourself 15%. 225-776-2431. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. Stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Might as well.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We will be joined by the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, BJ Ojulari. He's going to stop by here at 8 a.m. this morning, as we appreciate Coach Kyle Caskey for coming through, as we had our shortcut of the Caskey's Clicker, looked at Hendon Hooker a little bit, also took a look at LSU's offense and the New Orleans Saints through we'll dive more into that through the extended cut.
Such a good segment.
It is.
I'm learning so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Y'all look like you'll feel sorry for me.
You're trying to learn.
Yeah. Asking good questions.
Yeah.
Learn what a bitch trout is.
Are y'all being sarcastic?
No.
Oh.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
I feel bad for David.
Why?
Because now you're going to be watching football, be like, oh, see, they shouldn't have run the bench there. You'd be like,
Should have ran the corner.
Wait.
Sale
yeah.
concept.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Should have ran the mesh concept
Yeah,
instead of the sail.
I don't really know what coach is doing over here.
Don't feel sorry for
At least y'all
me.
beat Texas A&M. Yeah.
At least we beat
you
Texas
should have
A&M.
came in here a happy Monday. You know, y'all beat
I was
Texas
fine.
A&M.
I'm fine about it. That's great. That was a great win.
She's still in
I'm
lieu of
still-
her.
Yeah, I'm still whatever.
They're flirting.
They're flirting.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he got a number again.
Who do y'all have this week?
Arkansas.
Oh.
So I mean, you know,
Might get
I can
another
be
win.
disappointed
We
all
can
over
get you
again.
back
The
though.
life
This
of
could
a
be
Bulldog.
this could be like a
flower moment.
relationship
Yeah.
defining win.
Yeah.
It really could be.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, this could make or
Like-
break us. I don't know, y'all.
Yeah, he might be taking you on a date.
You had me at Woo Pig.
I do
In
love
Fayetteville?
Sam Pittman. It's in Starkville.
Cool.
The bells will be
Good
ringing.
spot.
Yeah.
It opened at Mississippi State -3.5, and now it's up to -8.
What the hell's
So
going
they're
on there?
hopping all over Mississippi State. I mean, you see two teams kind of passing in the night.
It's crazy, y'all. Crazy times.
Mississippi State 4-1, Arkansas 3-2.
4-1.
Look at y'all.
Did y'all lose to?
Yeah. Who was that lost to?
Hilarious.
Jimbo Fisher's feeling it over in Texas
what
A&M
they-
in College Station, man. But is he really feeling it?
No.
Not really.
I don't
Man,
know.
he's got an
That guy.
$87 million buyout. You're at the
got some
five.
focus on
You're at the
Say that
five.
number again.
You're at the 5-year mark. $87 million bucks.
Oh.
You're at the
Fire
5-year
me.
mark of this
What's up,
contract.
boys?
So really, like, I mean, if you're Ross Bjork, you're the AD over there. You didn't hire Jimbo, but you did extend him, which gave him more money and more security. So, you know, like, I know everybody, the easy targets to look at Scott Woodward, which is just such a Tony
Scott was
Soprano.
like,
I mean, like, play.
I'm out, y'all.
How's Jimbo treating you over in College Station?
Got y'all to
With that
extend
$100
him.
million we guaranteed him 5 years ago. I mean, just a beautiful play from
Did Scott
Woodward's
do that on
standpoint.
purpose?
I don't know, man. I don't
The long
know.
con.
Yeah.
I mean, the book in 40 years will be a must read if he'll tell the real story of him knowing that he was coming back to LSU and just
Faded Jimbo real quick.
sabotaging it for a decade for LSU to make a run on A&M. Because I mean, one thing that is for certain when you talk to people around Jimbo, like, he's not giving up the play calling duties. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean,
Smart team.
he'll make changes. I mean, I guess, like, you know, like the staff will have to be shuffled in the offseason because, I mean, there's really no way out of Jimbo if you're looking at it from Texas A&M standpoint. I mean, it's like a prison sentence.
Well,
It really is. I mean, it's like you know, it's like being in prison, being like in the second year and being like, I don't like it here, and be like, well, I mean, buddy,
see you in the morning.
you got 8 years left, and guess what? It ain't getting a bit better.
It's going to be ramen again.
I mean,
Next
It
year's
just-
this year.
But,
Next
I mean,
year's
when you
this
actually
year.
talk about it, Brian Kelly Scott Woodward did the same thing with Brian Kelly and
the same thing to
LSU.
Brian
You're
Kelly.
tethered together for 10 years.
no doubt about it.
You'll see what it looks like, and, like, LSU might get to a point where 4 years down the road, you're like, damn, we got 6 more years of this? Like, we're married.
Yes,
Like, he did. Scott
absolutely.
Woodward did
Like,
the same
we've
deal
got
with
to
LSU.
figure this out.
Yeah, this has to work
Yeah.
because I'm in it too.
So
Jimbo's got a big weekend ahead.
huge
He's
weekend,
passed
and
last
I mean,
weekend.
really, KJ Jefferson bailed him out. I mean, if KJ Jefferson didn't stick that ball out in Dallas, I
he's
mean,
looking terrible
he's
right
a
now.
bad,
Grim.
bad.
And the way their offense looks, oh my God. It reminds me of Les Miles.
It does.
Like, it's just like,
You know, Ben Miles, Les' son, calls in the plays for Texas
oh
A&M.
my God.
Really?
Oh.
Like, he doesn't call the plays.
But he
But
called
he's
him in.
got a
sig-
headset?
He's actually got the blue Texas A&M hat on that's standing right next to Jimbo the whole time. It's like signaling in the plays
okay.
What?
as they're
Planet.
coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, just
He's consulting with Les.
What do you know, Les? What do you know?
the meme,
Ben, what do you know?
right?
Jimbo, you could
It's
run
be a good spot for toss dive right
you
here,
could run
coach.
the toss dive right here.
Speaking of,
Wait, y'all have more than one
Brian
play?
Kelly yesterday was being schooled on the history of LSU Tennessee,
Real
which
time.
Brody Miller, Moscona,
Yeah.
Moscona asked a question of what hand did Dellinger break, and Brian Kelly's like, Briggs left. he's like, so is he still the backup center? And Kelly's like, yes, he's still the backup center. And Moscona's like, who else is training there? And he said Fitzgerald West had been training at center, but he had gone into the concussion protocol. And he said, so really, we're down to you. Like, pointing at Moscona, everybody's like, ha, 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 laughing at the joke. It was kind of funny.
He's getting funnier.
He's really getting
he is
funnier.
He
was very lighthearted yesterday.
I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but he's like arrogant funny.
Yeah.
You know that arrogant friend that you
Yeah.
have that's funny? That like
But it was good.
everybody outside the circle hates, but then they kind of get to know and they're like,
he's
I
smarter
kinda
than
like
I
the guy.
am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like him. You know what I mean?
He's
That's
an asshole, but I like
Kelly
him.
to me is kind
Yeah.
of like this guy that you looked at from afar and been like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, you don't even know him.
I felt differently about him after yesterday.
No doubt about it.
I
Not
really
even
did.
after yesterday, just after really kind of getting to know it. Not
Yeah.
getting to know him, just covering him over the last 6 months. And then he says, we're down to you at center. And, Moscona kind of started laughing. Like the joke one is like Moscona was an offensive lineman in high school.
Swing guy.
Swing man.
And then Brody Miller says T-Bob could do it. And Brian Kelly's like, yeah, definitely T-Bob could do it. And Brody's like, this is T-Bob's week. And he's like, no, what do you mean? He's like, they played Tennessee a decade ago, and T-Bob saved the game by snapping the ball. And Kelly's like, you can tell he's like, wait,
What?
Yeah.
what? He's like, who? He's like, obviously I need to be caught up to speed on the history of the series. He's like, but what? And like now, like all of like the media members like kind of like start like cackling in
Yeah, he
to
was
Kelly
taking
like, he was shuffling people in from the sideline, then he snapped the ball, he snapped it over his head, and time was running out, and Bonnett's like in the corner like, Jesus
I
Christ.
thought we were over this.
Yeah, it's like,
Everybody
stop.
He took it well though. I mean,
Yeah, he
is my
did.
job.
Yeah, he did. He
No,
did.
he
really
was
did.
he was legitimately perplexed. He was
No, he
like,
was
"Wait,
like,
what happened?
Yeah, right.
How
He
did
was
y'all
like-
get to the spot where y'all had 28 seconds left, and you're third down, and now you're running out of time, and you have to depend on your center to snap?" He's like, "That's not gonna happen here."
Yeah.
Like he made a point to say, "He's like, that's not gonna happen this week. Like we can. I'm pretty sure." Fairly confident we're not going to do that this
Well,
week.
I mean, the most, when we'll talk to this about BJ, is the most refreshing thing of watching LSU right now, and we talked about this in the lead up to the season and after watching them play a couple of games, is what are you really looking for out of LSU and watching them play this season? Like that win last weekend was a good spot. I mean, I know it's ugly. It's not the way that you really wanted to draw it out and paint it up, but a win on the road in year one with Brian Kelly leading LSU is a culture win like he talked about, but a program block building win that you look back on a year, 2 years from now and talk about that's where you started to see, things really start to take shape. I mean, the storyline when we left New Orleans after the LSU Florida State game was, who is LSU? Like they got an identity problem. Like they don't even know who they are, right? And as Coach Kelly said yesterday, you're kind of starting to figure yourself out, who you are, rotations here. You're still wanting to mix some things up, which is why I believe, and I don't know this from any, I believe that Jaden Daniels is on a shorter leash this weekend than he has been over the previous 5 weeks. Am I saying that he's going to yank him at his first mistake? No. Do I believe that Garrett Nussmeier will play? If you're asking me for a percentage on it, I'd say right now 60-40 he doesn't. But I think that there is a possibility that if LSU cannot get going offensively like we've seen them play, stagnant, right? And this was the bite that Brian Kelly played yesterday. I thought his press conference was so informative yesterday, and also the sign of a confident coach who knows his team is very prepared. Right? Like he believes in what his team is doing. He knows that his team is close in some areas and probably further away than they should be in others. He's real about it, recognizes it, and will take a win on the road in ugly fashion. Like you said, no pictures on the scoreboard. Take a win, survive, advance, and move on. But to keep up with Tennessee, I get the feeling that he's not against giving an opportunity to a quarterback that gives them a chance to push the ball down the field. His reactions last week, both to Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier, while they were in there when they missed reads and did not throw the ball, has just to me, in watching Brian Kelly, his demeanor on the sideline, watching the way he coaches the game, is that he's had about enough of watching his quarterback not let go of the ball. I mean, early in the season, it was more of kind of like, let's go, come on, like, like clapping them up, like, let's go, come on. Game 3, it's kind of like, come on, right? Like, throw the ball. Last week, he got red-faced and was MFing, not at them, but just the situation of let the ball go. Like, come on, man, throw the ball. Jaden Daniels, he did it to him twice early on in that game, and then Garrett Nussmeier's first throw of the game when he put him in there, and Nussmeier's eyes are just like, flying saucers out there, man. I mean, he like wanted to go back to the locker room, it looked like, and just tuck away in his locker and not be found.
Tuck his tail.
Like he actually skipped the ball into Kelly. If you go back and watch it, the ball like sails over Mason Taylor's head and skips right in front of Kelly. And Kelly like wants to like kick it. It's like almost like, damn it. He's like, what are you? He like throws his hands up. And Nussmeier's like, what are you doing?
You're open.
As Nussmeier's walking to the sideline, he is in his ear, like barking at him. And Nussmeier's still kind of like foggy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I want to be here, Coach.
But that's what he said. He said, grow the fuck up. He goes, this is your game now.
Right.
And it like kind of resonated with Nussmeier's like, shit, I'm not going to get taken out.
Right.
Like this is my game to win or continue to like lead my team to a victory in terms of like, ain't no Jaden coming back. He's out. It's like, this is your game now, Coach. And he was like, shit, okay, I'm in. Like, it kind of woke him up a little bit.
And I saw some of the comments on YouTube yesterday about yesterday's show. How could you be calling for Garrett Nussmeier? If you go back and watch, I said, I agree with Jaden Daniels being the starting quarterback on this team. I get it. He gives you the best chance to win because of his experience, his premium that he puts on protecting the football. There's still a very much that is very much a piece of the formula that you got to have to win, right? Protect the ball. Auburn lost last week because they lost a turnover batter 4-1. I mean, like that's no coincidence. So, I mean, I'm not advocating turnovers, but it was refreshing to go sit in that room and listen to the head coach yesterday say pretty much the same thing of at some point we got to start moving the ball down the field because your best players are outside. Your best players are the ones that you got to get the ball in the hands of. And if you want to go toe-to-toe for Tennessee, which I believe, I don't think that this game by any means is going to be a blowout, right? I mean, I think that Tennessee is coming in with a lot of confidence, with an offense that is going to be tested by this LSU defense, but it's also going to put pressure on this LSU defense where they haven't felt it before. Seven Banks yesterday, the injury being announced for him, and I didn't anticipate that he would play this Saturday, but he's going to miss an extended amount of time. He's going to miss up to 5 weeks, it sounds like. And that sucks for him, man, because if I had Seven Banks for one game this season, it would be on Saturday. Versus Hendon Hooker, you got to have as many DBs as possible on the field that can cover. Put a guy like Seven out there and say, hey, man, go earn that money. Go get that draft number up to where you want it to be today because potentially that's a first-round pick on that sideline. And if you shine today, they're going to be talking about that in April on the draft platform. I mean, he's not available. It sucks. Glad he's okay. Looks like he's going to make a full recovery. I believe the prognosis was a bruised spinal cord, which just sounds
and
brutal.
And did he say Major Burns is going to start running with the team?
I didn't know that was Major's injury.
Yeah. So he'll be back sooner, I guess.
Wait, Major had a bruised spinal cord.
Yeah, both have the same thing.
That's what Kelly said yesterday. He said it was a very similar injury to what Major Burns
you
sustained.
could do that.
And he'll just now be coming back this week to practice.
So, I just think I love the way that Jaden Daniels protects the football. I think he's a running threat. I think that, he's not by any means a underqualified thrower of the football. He doesn't trust it. Right? Like you've seen him at times take a 3-5 step back, and he works so well out of the tempo game. It seems like when tempo's moving, he catches a rhythm, like whether it's running, throwing. I mean, I would, I guess there's positive and negatives of embracing that, right? Like your defense at times can't stay off the field long. You can't get them a break. If you go 3 and out, if you can't get things moving, I mean, it's a tough way. Now, tempo at its finest, the best tempo team in the country is at LSU on Saturday. Tennessee runs tempo better than any team I have seen. When Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss was running tempo a couple of years ago with Matt Corral, they were running it as efficient as anybody. It's very similar to that under Josh Heupel at Tennessee. They snapped the ball with like 22 seconds on the play clock. You know, I mean, like Brian Kelly was talking about it yesterday. There's positives and negatives. You know, very little substitution. You see basic defenses. You know, but just like the offenses aren't allowed to sub, the defenses aren't allowed to sub. You got to be. It's a difficult scenario to coach against. We'll talk to BJ about it. He's about to pull up. Just about getting prepared for the amount of plays and how fast those reps are coming at you on Saturday, what that's going to be like. But it looks like Jaden Daniels is very comfortable working out of that set, right? Out of that tempo attack. So maybe they've been saving something. I doubt that they have. I don't believe in that. I don't think coaches are saving things for games. I think they go out and they try to win every Saturday. Whatever it takes to win, they're going to do. But I do believe that there's a unique formula for every Saturday. And this week's game plan is much different than last week's. You got to be effective in scoring. You got to be effective in moving the ball because they are, for sure. I mean, you hope to keep them away from, you know, some of the numbers that they've been putting up. They haven't played the talent that they should see on Saturday, especially from a defensive standpoint.
You can't get down 17.
No way. If you get down 17, you're down 34
Mm-hmm.
in a snap, in a blink, because the one thing that LSU can't, like, you know, Nussmeier, you don't want Nussmeier in there down 17 because that's when he does turn into the, you know, I hate to say it, but he does turn into a gunslinger where you just start throwing pop-ups and just start throwing things into triple coverage and, you know, rolling towards the sideline and flipping the ball into a linebacker's gut. You know, I mean, it's not, it's not the recipe you're looking for. I mean, to go and have a chance on Saturday with LSU is, you know, really you got to go like toe to toe. You know, like you got to go almost score for score.
I haven't seen much from Tennessee's defense either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if they can
opportunity there to
you
score.
got opportunities, man. You got, but you know, Jaden Daniels, if he doesn't trust it against Auburn, you know, I mean, like,
how's he gonna trust it against Tennessee?
I mean, this would be a great time to start trusting it. You know, like, I mean, this would be a great opportunity to go out there and start trusting the timing, the skill of throwing the ball, and live with a turnover. Don't let it kill you. Be able to move on and get past it. But as long as it's trying to push the ball down the field to Brian Thomas or Kayshawn, you know, or Malik or Jack Besh, for God's sakes.
Get Jack Besh in the short game.
I mean, play 80.
Please. Not Mason Taylor.
I mean, just
I like Mason
no,
Taylor.
I love Mason Taylor, and I don't want this to come across that we're dumping on Mason Taylor because I'm not. Mason Taylor, the projection of him is fantastic. The stripes that he's earning right now can never be replicated, right? But and I don't think that the game plan was to target him 11 times on Saturday. You know, I mean, one thing that we lose perspective of when we're all here talking like, change the plan, what's the scheme, what are they doing, is that when it comes down to it, the ball's in a quarterback's hand and it's his personal decision on where it's going to go, right? And like whatever he's looking at, it's his choice on where the ball's going to be thrown. And, you know, I mean, like you can coach it up and you can tell him where the opening is and you can tell him what to read. At the end of the day, I think a lot of those targets was just Daniels being comfortable where he was on the field and throwing it to him. You know, I mean, a lot of those balls that he does throw, they're very safe. And tight end, Mason Taylor, for what he runs on LSU's offense, is in safe spots.
Kayshawn looked comfortable in the little flip pass.
Yeah. You know, I mean.
I'd like to see that
But
more.
like that Jack Besh route that they broke down against New Mexico, that is a very easy, early, first 15 route that you can get not only your quarterback into a rhythm, but you've worked Jack Besh into the game plan. He's now got this mentality of, I'm included tonight. I'm ready to play. I'm pumped up. Next play, run Kayshawn on a jet sweep. Put the ball in his – I mean, he looked so smooth again. I'm not even talking about the opponent. I'm just talking about the way he looked running against Southern. Like he looked like he was gliding in the open field. That'll play against Tennessee. You know what I mean? Like that'll play against Auburn. Run that.
He might hit that next gear against Tennessee and Auburn.
I'd love to see it.
You just have to get him involved.
Hit the like button, share button, comment
and it's
button.
a terrible time for – I mean, I don't know how injured Jaden is, but it's a terrible time for him to have to be rehabbing, and then you're trying to install – or like at least let him take that next step on the offensive side of the ball whenever – I mean, Brian Kelly said it over and over and over again. He goes, this is not sustainable. You can't throw for 80 yards in a football game and expect to win every time. So he's like, we got to figure something out.
He had a burst sack injury, which is like
right.
a little –
That's what I'm saying. I would rather Jaden be going into this week 100%. It's like, all right – like, I understand the message that BK was sending, and I think Jaden would have been able to get that, but he's not going to be able to practice as well as you would expect him to be able to.
I think he's all right.
He'll be out there.
I think he's all right because, like, I've had the little burst sack thing. All it is like knee swelling. They drain it.
They drain.
That thing.
Yeah, it's probably sore, but.
That's what I'm saying. I'd just rather him be 100.
Right. Yeah.
All right, BJ Ojulari is here. We will talk to him next. SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Maybe the best defensive player in the league right now. I mean, well, at least he's in a discussion of it. We'll talk to him next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Sports with it.
It's just like anything else. I mean, I don't want to get into hyperbole, but it's, everything is. I mean, frankly, I'm still worried more about concussions. We don't talk about it much anymore, but, we've kind of helped solve it in a lot of ways and make the game a lot safer. So anytime we have existential threats, which this one could or could not be, we just deal with it, and we will deal with it. It's just part of the game. And, I don't mind a lot of what's come out of this movement of doing more for the student athletes, but like anything else, it boomerangs a little too far, and you got to swing it back into what we do for the student athletes. And it's a hell of a lot, and I'm proud of that fact that we are leaders in doing that. But
welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. It's cool to catch up with our guy, BJ Ojulari, who is the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. For the second time in the last 3 weeks, he has been named to an SEC award, as he deserves it, man. He has been balling at a high level. We talked to Matt House how they were going to use BJ coming into the season, and I think we saw all of it on display on Saturday night versus Auburn, as he was running step for step with a running back down the field, and then sack fumbles all over the place. Good to see you, bro. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good, man. First and foremost, health-wise, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Going into the 6th game of the season, of course, everyone's going to be a little banged up, sore, but just got to get in that treatment room and take care of all those little kinks.
Tell me about your game Saturday night, bro. You were everywhere.
I just want to be in the best position for me and the best position to make plays for my team, and hopefully just make a little difference and change momentum into, getting us that win.
Yeah. Tell me how, from your point of view, they are using you differently. I think everybody sees you running alongside that running back and sees, you down in coverage, but it's more than that. I think that you're playing a lot more in space now, and combined with your pass rushing capability, how have you seen your responsibility grow here as your junior season is on you?
Yeah, definitely more responsibility. Like you said, playing more in space, sometimes having to potentially make an open field tackle, cover running backs.
Get a pick.
Oh yeah. I had a potential pick opportunity. They run a little fake reverse. The wide receiver actually caught my eye, so I just instinctively took him down the field. I just got to work on my ball skills a little bit more. But yeah, I'm more on the edge this year, being able to make plays, dialing stuff up in the pass rush game to get all the guys free, including me.
Yeah. This is the best defense you played on in college, right? I mean, you guys are flying around. I can't imagine what Mason would be like on this team. What was that like for your leader? He's a leader. You guys were, you could see the just in that series that y'all were playing together. How have you adjusted without him?
Yeah, having Mason right alongside you, is like no other. He's a great player. He's able to make plays. But I think we adjusted very well, in my opinion. I give a lot of high praise to Mekhi Wingo.
Definitely.
He's definitely stepped into that role very well. J-Roy as well. He's definitely, stepped his game up to make up for the absence of Mason. So I think Coach Kane did and the players did a great job adjusting to, losing that caliber player.
Yeah. What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's gonna be in the drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt House and just how this has. It seems like every single week it's different. It's not this one defense that you guys run. Talk about the versatility of the group with him.
Yeah, all the guys are able to adjust very well week by week. We're facing all types of offenses, like coming from playing air raid to coming to Auburn, facing more run with good running backs like Tank Bigsby. Going in this week, more tempo. So it's definitely going to change. He expects that we can pick up the defense. Of course we can because we're LSU, We come to LSU to play defense, and Coach House, he's dialing stuff up, almost like NFL feel, just to defend all these offenses that we got to see in different looks.
The best part about it is, and you're the greatest example of it, is that he's using the talent and getting the most out of it. You know what I mean? It was easy to put your hand in the dirt first 2 years and say, go get the quarterback. You're great at that. But then to see your game kind of develop. I mean, I know you probably know this, but, I mean, your draft stock is just going through the roof right now. This weekend, you have another guy that has draft stock that's shooting through the roof in Hendon Hooker and Tennessee's offense. What's it like preparing for this high-tempo attack? And he's a different quarterback than you guys have faced. What's the challenge he provides?
Yeah, he like you said first, we got to worry about the tempo. With us, it's just putting our cleats in the ground, getting the call, and playing defense. They go so fast. They're just trying to catch you off guard. They have a great quarterback who's very mobile. He moves differently than the previous quarterbacks. He's more of a step up in the pocket, try to take the A gap. As a rusher, we just gotta have to, adjust our rushes to how he likes to move. But they got a lot of wide receiver threats as well, playing, and they're all playing very well. They have a great head coach, in my opinion, and they just changed their program as well. So it's going to be a great matchup this weekend, and we really don't get to play Tennessee a lot, just being at LSU. So I think it's going to be a great historic game.
All good with 11 a.m.?
We really wanted, to be a night game in Tiger Stadium, have the crowd more on our side. But I think the fans are going to come out and still, have that night game feel at 11 a.m.
You're a captain of this team. You wear number 18. You're a leader in not only the program but in the community. And getting to know you over the last year, it's been cool to know the human being behind the face mask. What was the first play of the game like for you and your teammates with 7 down on the field, and what was the residual effect of that?
Yeah, just seeing one of your teammates, one of your comrades, laid out like that, it's gonna take a little toll on you mentally, especially being the first play. Everyone's coming out the locker room juiced up, ready to go. It's just gonna take the focus away from the game just a little bit. And we all love 7. We know how hard he works, so it just made it even worse. So I think it kind of contributed to the slow start for the defense early on in the game. But we went in the locker room, made the adjustments. Coach always says focus and refocus. So Coach House, he came out, he told us real straight up that that's not LSU defense. And we made those adjustments and went back out, and we started to play our defense, created turnovers. Greg Brooks, just a amazing play on his behalf, and just to do stuff like that and get the win for him, that was very special, and I know he appreciates that.
Your head coach called it a culture win, a program-defining win, one of those building blocks of a new staff. You've been here and kind of seen this thing grow for the last couple of months or under his direction. Can you feel this stuff starting to take shape of what he's been preaching and implementing?
Right, most definitely. You can see, just a change in just the team morale, the headspace that we're in when we're down 17. But I'll always like to say that, we always have fight in us, just when fight meets execution, you're going to always come out with a great result. So going into Tennessee, we just have to start fast, in my opinion. Keep our foot on their neck, most definitely, because it's going to be harder to come back against Tennessee. So, like Coach said, heart and grit can only take you so far.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are in great shape, bro. Y'all have kicked people's ass in the second half. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Coach Flint and his training program during the summer.
It worked.
Coach Kelly says that even Florida State, we noticed it. Like we were in better shape than in the second half than them, and it's gonna be like that going on forward. Just the staff that Coach Flint put together, the program that he put together during the winter and all through the summer. He got us in great shape, and not just just beating us up, killing us. Just everything that we do is efficient. Practice is efficient. No wasted movement, no wasting time and space. So I think that all contributes to how well and how long that our bodies can last opposing to the other team.
Yeah. How cool has it been to wear number 18?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Sometimes when I'm playing, I forget I have an 18 on. But I know all the people who wore 18 before me is I'm trying just to represent them well. The number is bigger than me, so but it's been pretty cool just being that that face of the defense, face of the team, and just being able to represent very well.
Your brother and the Giants are balling 3-1 right now. Y'all going back and forth and talking about who's playing at a high level, because he's all over the place too right now.
Yeah, he was making some plays last game, but. Yeah, he's one of my biggest fans and biggest haters at the same time. We go at it back and forth, but it's just good competition, Just being able to play the game that we love at a very high level. You just can't do nothing but thank God.
Nothing for the opponents right here, but it seems like you're doing everything at a high level right now. What do you want to improve on? What are you trying to get better at right now?
I just want to create more disruption, create more plays like I did last week. To change the momentum of the game. And on the defense standpoint, I want us to score more. When the defense scores and creates turnovers, the percentage of winning goes straight up. So from the defense standpoint, I just want us to, create more turnovers and score the ball more.
Is there a better highlight in football than a sack, fumble, scoop, and score?
Oh yeah, that's the best highlight.
Jay Ward looked like a tailback, bro.
Oh yeah, he was gone. Shout out to Jay for just being around the ball at all times. Every time the ball comes out, he's gonna try to score. Ain't no falling on it. He's gonna scoop and score.
Representing Raising Cane's big game week in Baton Rouge. Probably nothing like it, huh? I mean, as this thing builds up.
Right. Especially Tennessee, whether they're number 7 or number 8 in the country. Great team coming into Death Valley. There's no better setting to take them on.
Have you felt like the LSU's identity has turned into a defensive team this year? Like, you obviously were a part of LSU where there was so much impetus put on the offense. Don't worry about that. There was so much stuff that, like, LSU was trying to be so much of an offensive team, and it feels like this year, like, the defense is just like, this is what LSU football is.
Y'all feel like old school LSU defense.
Yeah, just Coach House, he's just the stuff that he has planned for us, the stuff that he dials up, putting players in position to make so many plays, is like no other, nothing like I ever seen. But yeah, the identity of the defense, we're slowly finding it. We're slowly, creating our own juice. Even when we went to a away game, we had to create our own juice. But I think the whole team is finding its identity.
Plus, you got your swagger back a little bit.
Yeah, we're playing. That's one thing we try to do, like play with swagger, play free. Coach Kelly says it all the time. Don't think about it.
Hell yeah.
Practice is the time to think about it. When it's time to play, just go.
Unleash them.
Yeah, just let your body take over. And when they take the chains off the defense, you see what happens. Turnovers, big plays here. Harry Perkins get a pick here, and it just.
Who did he pick off again?
How much did that play last week? How much did Decoy Moore stuff play last week?
We took it to the heart a little bit. Coy, he's still a good friend of mine. He's a confident person, and I respect that. But everybody has their own opinion, and so that was just his opinion at the time. But we took it to heart. We wanted to win that game just because it's Auburn and a little bit of what he said.
Man, I wish old boy wouldn't have tripped Harold in the oak, because if he got an open field, boy, I mean,
I was going for 6.
I mean, he's a running back.
Harold. Yeah, I seen in high school he played running back. I make fun of him a little bit, making a big boy tripping, but it's all good.
He talks, huh?
Oh, you talking about Harry Perk? Yeah, he talks. Yeah, sure. Talk.
Every time LSU has played an SEC opponent, this has been the defensive player of the week or the defensive lineman of the week. He is playing at a level right now that not many are playing in the sport, and he is LSU's leader. He's number 18, and they got a huge one on Saturday with Tennessee in town. Good to see you, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. There he is, BJ Ojulari, stopping by here. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Best athlete to come out of New Iberia, Mark Roman?
Kayshawn Buddha.
Kayshawn? Wow.
Right now, Kayshawn, and Mark was a little bit before me. I was a ball boy. When Mark was playing at New Iberia Senior High School. I played like right after Mark. But has done some things, and just the things that you guys are seeing Kayshawn do, that he's not even scratching the surface of what we saw on a day-to-day basis at practice. He's unreal. He's unreal.
He's so natural. It's so so easy. It looks so easy to him.
Yes, it's so easy, and there's never been another a competitor I've ever seen like Kayshawn. Kayshawn would not lose going to eat pregame meal. He has to be the first. He's the ultimate competitor. He would not lose. So trust me, he will be ready.
Hunter Fournette inside the chat. I hope BJ Ojulari has 5 sons and they all come to LSU.
Me too. 11.
First and foremost, like he's going to be a top 5 pick. He feels like he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Like there is no better representation that LSU could put out as far as being number 18, being a captain, SEC media days, doing the media circuit, and he just happens to be probably your best player. I mean, like if he's not the best player on the team, he's the second best player on the team. And it is going to be fun watching him going up against Hendon Hooker. All right, we got to sign off early this morning. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to be back at 1 o'clock with Stewie and Coach Caskey. We're going to do an extended cut of Caskey's clicker. You going to be here? For Cassie's clicker, I have
over there.
texted,
You were furiously texting.
I'm always multitasking.
I have texted Rohan about getting in here at 1 o'clock for Coach Caskey. So hopefully those two can reconvene.
What percentage did you put on that?
40-60. 40-60. Lloyd will be back at 6 o'clock.
Hell
for
yeah.
Hold the Rope.
Hold.
Make sure and subscribe. That's right. Pull those egg salad sandwiches in, boy. That's right. That's all we got left for you.
And clean this place up.
We got cold night, Coach.
And pick up my shit.
And bring me home. I gotta take a tickle.
That's right. Make sure and subscribe. All right, as we said, I'm heading off to Zachary, and we've got a really cool project that we've been working over here at FM Digital Media with our friends over at WAFB and our friend Trey from man, I'm forgetting his production because I'm looking at Stu.
We're not.
But we're doing Dawn of a Legacy, which is an in-depth look at the Zachary and Woodlawn game, which is going to air on ESPN on Thursday night. And really,
this week, huh?
that's Thursday night.
Jeez.
Yeah. And we're going to we've got in-depth look at both programs, really more at the quarterbacks of Ricky Collins, Eli Holstein, of course, Holstein going to Bama, Collins going to LSU. And just the lead up, the build up to the game. Had a chance to go and talk to coaches and people in the community. Also some people, in and around the recruiting. So it's been really cool, and hopefully you'll love it. We'll keep you up to speed on it. All of it are brought to you by our friends over at Bank of Zachary. Shout out to Mark Marino and the team over at Bank of Zachary for giving us this opportunity and being able to support us on this project, as we're really fired up about it. We think that we can hopefully get into this space and do more of this stuff, because it is it's cool to jump into big time high school programs leading up to a huge game that have name recognizable players, not only Ricky Collins and Eli Holstein, but guys like Jordan Matthews and Kylan Jackson and all types of players on both sides of the ball, coaching staffs, and to see this stuff at this level has been pretty cool. So we're heading out there this morning. Going to do some interviews with the Zachary crew. Then we'll be over at Woodlawn tomorrow. Then we'll be at Thursday night for the game, which is over at on Woodlawn's campus, a District 5A football game in Baton Rouge being televised on ESPN. That's a cool moment for our city, man. That's some really cool stuff. So
Are we all going?
Huh?
Are we going?
We could. I'm going. I mean,
you have to be there.
Make sure to hit the like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here. We will be back with you at 1 o'clock. Make sure and subscribe if you have not. Hit the alert button, which means you'll get a notification when we go live. Appreciate everybody for being out there. Thanks to Go Chevrolet.
Katie, any FBI updates, serial killer wise? We're all good?
Maybe, but I don't want to talk about it.